Good morning. Welcome to my channel. This video is being shot for a customer of mine on my Etsy page, just asking for a little help with tutorial with the guitar body. So let's get started. So if you're watching this video is more geared to someone that's just kind of starting out with CNC, and you know, I've been there, I get it. I want to make sure you do things right the first time. So, we are in the file of the Telecaster guitar body. You can see on here, if you're not familiar with the screen, you have your artwork here, and then you have the render version to the right screen. So if you don't see that, you can drag it over, or you can hit the arrow. I kind of like to keep it in between. You can zoom in on this, move it around, all that good stuff. So up here we have the size of the wood, right? It says birch plywood, but that's not what you're going to be using. Whatever wood you decide to use needs to be cut to at least 17 by 13 inches and 1 3/4 inches thick. If you don't follow inches and you follow millimeters, down here in the left column or left side of the screen, you can toggle that to millimeters. You can see it changed over here. Alright, we're gonna open that screen up a little bit more. And if you didn't see what I just did, down at the bottom there's an arrow where if I was to add more files to this authentic link for the customer, they would all be down here. So you simply just click on the next one, it'll show up. Alright. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. So the size, right? So I have it set as birch plywood. That's really just for rendering purposes. You can change that to whatever wood you like. The cut settings within Easel will usually adjust based off the wood you select, but I can tell you in my experience, their speeds are always off. And if you're going to be cutting out of Easel itself, you're definitely going to want to adjust that. So we're not cutting this with a 1/8 bit, you can see here. So for this particular file, you're going to want to use a 1/4 inch. Now if you notice, if I click over here in the file on the body itself, there's 2 yellow marks. Those are tabs. So when it cuts the body out, it should leave a tab right here and right here. I try to keep them at the spots that are the straightest. So you would just need to cut the little tabs out, pull the body out, and you're done. You can see here where it says shape. Tells us the shape of the body, right? If they were to put a square around it. But cut is the important portion on this one. The body, we're going to be cutting out of the wood. The wood is 1 3/4 inches thick. So we need to tell it that the depth of cut is going to be, total depth is going to be 1.75 inches. We want the path to cut on outside of shape path. Alright, so if it was on cut on shape, you notice the body just got a little smaller because we're using a 1/4 inch end mill, and it's going to cut, the center of the bit's going to cut right down the line. So you're going to lose about 1/8 on both sides of the wood. So if you put it on cut on outside, you watch the body here, it'll get a little bigger. Boop. So what'll happen is the bit will actually cut on the outer edge of this line, so it leaves the body at the actual size. And this is definitely what needs to be done, because if you look real close at the neck pocket, I cut this a long time ago when I was making my own guitar body, and what happened was right around here, it was in a little bit more. So when I put the neck in, the neck overhung about 1/8 of an inch. Still playable, but yeah. So never make that mistake. Always cut the body on the outside of the path. That really goes for any artwork. If you're cutting a circle, you want your circle to be 15 inches, and you make a circle on here that's 15 inches, and you tell it to cut on path, it's not going to be 15 inches. It's going to be slightly lower. So always use cut on outside of path. I know obviously this tutorial is being made for a specific person, so you asked a specific question about, can you change this file? Yes, you can. So if you are going to change this file, I would come down here to the arrow, click it, and I would click on the plus down here, create another window, and then go back to your file. We'll just do Control A to highlight it all, copy the whole thing, and then we're going to drop another one in here. Now we've got two files that are exactly the same, so you can have at it and do whatever you want over here. You want to stretch it out, stretch it out. You know, obviously it's a guitar, so the neck pocket and right here are good. So I would say if you wanted to manipulate anything except for this area right here, you could make your own shape guitar, leave all this stuff in the same spot, just change the shape. You could do that. So you can see if I double click it, there are a ton of what are called nodes. But if you grab one, you can start changing things around that way. But yes, to answer your question, you can change the file if you want. I'm going to delete this duplicate. Alright, as far as cut settings, I don't know what machine you're using. You can see right now it says it'll take 8 to 10 hours to cut this, and that's because the cut settings are sitting at their normal Easel incorrect speeds, which is not right. You don't want to cut this at 30. If I was cutting this out on my machine, you would click manual. I would change the feed rate, which would be how fast your machine's going to move. I'd probably do it at like 150, and the plunge rate I always go half, so 75. And then if I'm using a 1/4 inch bit, I like to be a little bit conservative. Some people will be aggressive and they'll go, you know, very deep. I cut it like 0.08, just my preference. Just the way I like to do it. And you can see changing these settings here. If we click simulate, it's down to 33 minutes. So I can deal with that. You know, I want my bits to be saved and I want it to cut out clean. So I'll do more passes at a more shallow depth per pass, and that gives me a pretty good end result. But you can see here that if you load your wood in 17 inches by 13 inches and zero your machine to the bottom left corner, tell it to do its thing, it's going to come over here and it's going to cut out that control panel first, then one pickup spot, another pickup spot. By the way, this groove here, if you haven't cut this file ever, is for your electronics, obviously. So got to get some electronics to get down into the control area. So this channel could be made larger, but I always leave it at here, and you just run a drill bit from here to here. And you do need to use a Forstner bit where you're going to plug the guitar in, so where your 1/4 inch jack's going to be. which should be right around here. You'll see when the body cuts out, it'll have a spot that's not fully rounded. It's like right around here. So you would drill a hole with your Forstner into the control, and then you're ready to go. All right, so 33 minutes at the speeds I would use. Some people will go faster. They say a 1/4 inch bit, you can cut at a much deeper cut per pass. So let's say we wanted to do like 0.17 just to see. And that says that this would cut out in 17 minutes. So you can see going very aggressive on the depth. Shaved it down to about half the time, but at 33 minutes, if you were going to make multiple ones of these, spend the 33 minutes on the first cut and then take this off, sand her down on the edges, make her all smooth, get her ready for paint, and the second one will be cutting. By the time you're done your sanding, the second one will be done. So that's enough rambling for me today. Any questions, feel free to shoot me a message, or if this video wasn't made particularly for you and you have a question, feel free to leave it in the comment. Thanks. Have a great day, y'all. Thanks for watching.